sewing, sunshine, slice, coffee, roses, all the good things. Controversial, I do love a pocket. Some happy mail. It was perhaps a little less traumatic than initially suspected. And after all this work, that's the last thing I want. Now I have to tell you about a very exciting collaboration, famous last words. And welcome to this week's video. I'm Amelia and this is my channel all about sewing, a handmade wardrobe for me and my children. Welcome to my day in the life vlog today. I thought I would share with you what happens on a regular Monday in our house. We did have quite a busy weekend. It was lots and lots of fun enjoying the glorious spring sunshine this weekend. We had some fun in a local fountain. We had barbecues and dinner outside on the lawn. It was just lovely. I'm hoping the nice weather will continue. Now we've had some sunshine, I think it really feels like spring and summer are on their way. So today started out with some breakfast with our music practice, which we normally get done in the mornings, and then the school run, and I've been able to get back and have another coffee, much needed. And also I've done some, I've had my quiet time, and then I did some emails and things that needed to get done. And now I am thinking about my sewing plans for today. So today I thought I'd give myself a bit of a sewing day, and I'm going to try and make the Sylvie skirt today by Cinnamon Daisy Studio. I was gifted this pattern, but with no obligation to make videos or anything like that. She just reached out and asked if I would like to try out one of her patterns, which was so lovely. And I chose the Sylvie skirt. Now it is a beautiful panelled skirt, a circle skirt made up of 13 panels. So beautifully swishy for the summer, and I am going to make it in some fabric I picked up at a fabric swap. So it's this beautiful drapey black viscose, and I think it will be beautiful for a summery skirt, very light and floaty, and it will go with lots of nice bright tops and blouses. And I also think it will potentially work in the winter with some nice chunky boots and a long sleeve blouse or a jumper and things. So I'm hoping it will be quite a versatile piece. I don't make a lot from black, but I think for a bottom half make, black is quite functional, and I just love the drape of this fabric. Now I'm not sure exactly how much I've got, probably should have measured it, but that's fine. So the skirt comes in two lengths. There's the mini length, which I think is probably too short for my preferences, and then there is the midi length skirt, which I think is probably my preference if I can get that out of the fabric. So I'm going to start in a minute on some muesli making. We are out of granola and I do like to make our own, so I'm going to make that in a moment, pop it in the oven, and while it's in the oven I'm going to cut out my pattern pieces. I'll lay them on the fabric and see exactly what I'm going to be able to get out. The pattern also comes with pockets, and I'm going to have to see whether or not I can actually fit pockets out of the fabric. Because you can see the lining of the pockets, I won't be able to use another type of fabric, but you can omit them from the pattern, so I might just need to do that. We'll have to see. Now in terms of sizes, this pattern is great. It goes from a size B to a size S. Now that's a waist of 24 inches up to a waist of 53 inches. And then because of the elasticated waist, there is some flexibility there. Now the size H, which is what I'm going to make, is for a waist of 31 inches and hips of 41 inches. Now those hips match mine, but my waist is slightly smaller than that. However, once you add in the elastic, the finished waist measurement of the relaxed waist, so before you stretch out the elastic, is 28 inches. So that will be perfect, I think, perfectly comfortable. And obviously because it's got that elasticated back on the skirt, I can always pull the elastic in tighter if I need to. I just want to make sure it fits over my hips. The finished hip measurement for a size H is 60.5 inches. So I've got plenty of room there in the hips, and the stretched waist is 33 inches. Now, it does also have an invisible zip and a hook and eye. Right, so for now, I'm going to go and crack on with my muesli prep, get that in the oven, and then I'll hopefully get on with some cutting out later on. Okay, so the pattern is cut out. It has taken me most of the morning to do that. So I am going to stop now. I'm going to have some lunch. Here are the pile of pattern pieces. In the end, I decided not to go for the pockets. I actually have a stack of fabric left over. It was quite tricky to cut. So I'm hoping all the pieces are on the grain. I did my very, very best, but I have got enough if I do need to recut any of the panels. But because it is such a slinky fabric, I thought actually if I put the pockets in, they might just not sit right because they are slash pockets. And some pockets I've made in fabric a bit like this, they sort of flop out a little bit. And I don't really want that for the finished skirts. I've just decided to go for 13 panels and to not put in the pockets. Controversial, I do love a pocket, but I think the skirt will look better without them. So that's that done. I need to cut out the interfacing, but I'll do that up in my sewing room because I just wanted to use the kitchen table for cutting out because I could lay the fabric right out and hopefully get it on the grain properly. So now that's done, I am going to go and prep the dinner. We are out this afternoon at some music lessons, so I like to have the dinner prepped and ready, and then the oven can pop on and cook it while we're out. And then it's ready for when we come back and the children are starving. I'm going to stop here for now, prep the dinner, have my lunch, and then hopefully I will get a little bit of time to start sewing up the Sylvie this afternoon. I'm gonna read it over lunch and then hopefully crack on a little bit before I need to go and do the school run. Right, well that took a lot longer than I thought. It often is the way with housework and things, isn't it? Once you start, that's it. The ball starts rolling and then you can't stop. So, I'm not sure how much sewing I'm going to get done now. I need to leave in about half an hour to collect my children, so we'll see. What I might try and do is prepare the pieces. So I have my black interfacing here, which I'm going to cut out for the waistband front piece. And then I'll iron that onto the waistband front piece. But then I might just start pinning together some of the pieces and getting my zip ready and things like that, because I think I've only got very long zip, so I'll need to make that a little shorter so it can go on the side of the skirt. But in the meantime, I thought I would share some happy mail because this is a day in the life and this is what's happened today. Now you will know if you've been on my channel for a little while that I signed up this year to the Alice Caroline Liberty Rainbow Quilt Sew Along, or box of the month I think it's called, and my box for May has arrived. Now I will confess I have only completed I think February's like halfway done, so yeah, I'm falling a little behind, but it's my goal over the half-term break to catch up on some of the boxes that I haven't done so far. Like I say, February's almost finished, I just need to sew the last couple of bits together. But in the box it's beautifully wrapped. You get this little tissue wrapped collection of Liberty fabrics that you need to make up the blocks, and a little booklet explaining what the blocks are, and this month it is some sawtooth stars, so that's beautiful. So I signed up for the rainbow box, and some months you get more vibrant fabrics and other months you get the fabrics are a little bit more muted just due to where they fit in the quilt. So here's this month's collection, some lovely colours there. I'm very excited to get that finished for our master bedroom. That's going to be the quilt in there. So I do need to crack on and sew that. They are quite manageable to do each month. I think it's mainly just because we travelled in the month of April, and then leading up to that we were super busy, so I didn't quite finish March's box or February's box yet. But like I say, the holidays I think a good time to do some quilting because I can trim my blocks and things and do a few seams here and there when the children are playing or when they're busy. It's a bit hard to do a whole project in the holidays, like sew up a garment, because you just don't get much time at all. So I think those quilting boxes will be perfect for the holidays. Now I have to tell you about a very exciting collaboration I've got coming up with Amelia Allen Sews. We've done a couple of collaborations before, and we were chatting about this when we met up in the park the other day. It was such a lovely sunny day. And we had to talk sewing, obviously. And we thought we would make together the Silver Saga Ophelia dress. Now I've seen this sewn up on so many different people and I absolutely love the look of it. It's very romantic. I love the sleeve flutters, although you can leave those off. I also love the shape of the sleeve and just the general sort of nature of the long flowy skirt, I think it would be perfect, breezy, easy to wear on a nice warm summer's day. So we are going to work together, and each of us is going to make our own version of the pattern, and then we'll get together and talk about what size we made and how we found the instructions and the pattern and the fit and all of the rest of it. We'll have a great chin wag and share that with you once we've made the dress. But I do have something I need your help with. So I have two fabrics for the Amelia dress, and the first one is this gorgeous cotton poplin that I picked up from Rainbow Fabrics at the recent Stitch Festival. I absolutely love the colours of this one. Now the Amelia dress in all the samples is sewn from quite a lightweight, light coloured linen, and that does look beautiful, but I have seen a couple of makes on Instagram made from a beautiful, bright, vibrant fabric, and I just love that look, especially for summer. So I did wonder about sewing it in this fabric here, but the other option I have is this beautiful cotton lawn. Now both fabrics are actually similar weight, so I think both would work, and it's this one here, and I got this from Pigeon Wishes. Now it's a gorgeous pink floral. I feel like this is just such a pretty print, and it looks quite simple from far away, but it has got that beautiful detail close up, so this is another option for that Amelia dress. I really feel like both would look very beautiful, so please let me know in the comments below, which would you choose? Would you choose the bright fabric or the floral fabric? Please let me know your opinion below. I just love the colours of that one, but then I also think that one would look so beautiful with all of those details in the Amelia dress. So answers below in the comments. Let me know which one you would choose if you were me, and I'll be thinking on that in the next couple of weeks. I've sent the pattern off to get printed, so I can't make a start on that yet. But what I can make a start on is my Sylvie skirt, and that's what I'm going to do in this sort of 20-25 minutes before I need to go pick up my children. I'm going to prep all the pieces. We are at home this evening, so once the children are in bed, I'll probably get another hour or so of sewing time tonight. So if I get all of the pattern prepared, my zip prepared, everything else ready, I should be able to get a good chunk of that sewn up tonight, I think. I also need to rethread my overlocker and thread my machine with black thread, so I think being realistic, now is not the time for any sewing. Now is the time to prep everything, get the right needle in my machine, and then we'll start sewing tonight. Good morning. It is Tuesday. So did I get the skirt sewn up in a day? No, I didn't. Is this going to be a day in the life vlog? Well, clearly not. So we are now going for a couple of days in the life. I don't know, we'll see. This is real life. This is sewing with small people at home. I get what I can done when I can. I did get some of the panels of the skirt sewn together last night. I'll show you what they look like. Right now I'm just mending a dress up because it came apart last night. What is it about dress ups? I think it's probably because they get so imaginatively played, and I think this one went on the trampoline actually. So the skirt came away from the bodice, and I do love that my children know that I sew so they can come and ask for it to be fixed up. So it was perhaps a little less traumatic than initially suspected, because this is very much a favourite dress up, so she was very upset when it came apart, but that's fine. I had promised that I would get it sorted out today whilst she's at school, so that is what I'm starting my day with, along with obviously a lovely hot coffee. It is not cold outside today, but it is rainy and drizzly and a bit miz, so I have just got on my Jarrah sweater today with some ready-to-wear leggings because the school run was very wet. So the skirt, I have pinned the panels together, and so far I have sewn 4 panels together. So I mean, you're not going to see anything because it's black, but it is coming together. It's lovely and swishy and full, and like I said, I've just pinned that next panel on. Because the fabric is so slippery, I do have to go quite slowly, and then obviously I am pinning every seam, sewing it, and then overlocking it. So to put 13 panels together takes a little while. So once I have finished my coffee and finished sewing up the dress, I will carry on with that, and I'm hoping that I should get it finished today. So I've got 6 panels to sew together for the front skirt, the 7 panels for the back skirt, and then it's attaching the waistband and the zip. So we'll see. Tuesdays is not a day that I get lots of time to spend in my sewing room because there's lots to do and we have afternoon activities. So I'm not sure how much time I will get up here today, so it might be a week in the life sewing vlog this week. We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm going to go and get on with my hand stitching and see if I can get a little bit of sewing done now before I meet up with my friend, and I'll pop on and let you know how I get on a little bit later on. skirt. These are the 13 panels. Beautifully swishy, and I can't really tell much about the fit yet, obviously, because I need to put the waistband on and it's elasticated at the back, so it is a bit big across the back, but the measurements seem to line up with the pattern, so that is good. It is lunchtime. I'm going to take a break for lunch, do a few more jobs around the house. We'll see if I can get back up to finish the waistband later on, but I managed to fix my daughter's dress up. Some of these were coming off as well across the front, so I just fixed those at the same time, and then she was desperately worried because her little baby dress for her dollies had broken, so I fixed that as well. Have to say, I love the Prim snap tool. If you don't have it, it's a game changer. I had another one that I bought cheaply off a big website we won't mention, but it wasn't as good as the Prim tool. So if you're struggling with snaps, you need a good tool. The Prim Vario pliers, I think they're called. I'll link them in the description box below. Great for children's clothes and dolls' clothes too, apparently. Anyway, I'm going to go and have some food and I'll get back to the skirt in a bit. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is the Stellan tee by French Navy. It was a free pattern and it was sewn up. I sewed it as part of the Sew Frugal challenge last year. Like I said, this is a day for being on and off the bike today. I have a busy afternoon with the children, so I'm just dressed very casually today, but I do love this t-shirt. The sleeves are quite long, but that's because I think they're made to be rolled up, and I really like the curve of the hem. It's a great one. Great one for just being casual around the house and getting the housework done, which is my next job. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Hi, it's Wednesday and we're still going on the skirt, so finishing it in one day obviously didn't happen, so I think this is more like a week in sewing rather than a day in sewing. So I have finished the skirt, again, black. You probably can't see it, but I have put on the waistband front and back and all the panels fitted neatly into that. They did say in the pattern you get a little overhang on one end. They have left a little bit of an excess of the waistband pieces so that you can just trim that off to fit. So now I just need to add in the zip. Now my zip that I have is quite long, so I'll shorten that a little bit and add like a fabric tab onto the end of that so that it doesn't irritate my skin when it's on the skirt. And that should go in quite easily. Famous last words. So I can do that this afternoon. I have spent the morning in the kitchen doing some admin tasks and sorting out the house and cleaning and tidying and all of those lovely things, but I do now have a couple of hours to myself to sew on this lovely sunny afternoon, which is so nice. I've been in the garden doing some of the roses and I just picked a couple to put in my sewing room, which makes me very happy. It's nice to see them out. And I've made a cup of coffee, which is very important. I got all excited yesterday afternoon and the children and I made a lemon slice, which was really nice. So you'll see I've had a little bit of that as well with my lunch. So lots of happiness today. Sewing, sunshine, slice, coffee, roses, all the good things. So the only thing I'm not sure about with this skirt is the hemming of it. This fabric doesn't press very well, so it's quite hard to get a nice crisp edge to sew. So in terms of like folding over and pressing a hem to then sew, just not sure how that's going to go. So I've got a couple of options. I could just simply overlock the hem and then just use the gauge on my sewing machine to fold it over and sew it as I go and just hope that I can kind of eyeball it, I suppose. That's probably not my preference because I do like a really neat finish. I'm not really an eyeball and hope it works out kind of girl. The other option is to try a rolled hem. Now I have tried a rolled hem before and it was a desperate failure. I tried so many different ways of doing it and it was just so bad. I do have a rolled hem foot for my faff machine, so I might give that another go again. I've got quite a lot of scrap fabric left over from the cutting out, so I've certainly got enough there to play about with and see if I can work it out, because I think on this fine fabric a rolled hem would probably be the easiest. I'm just aware that because of all of the panels I have got a length of the fabric and then I have the overlocked edge to try and get rolling through that foot as well, and I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. If you have any tips for sewing with a rolled hem foot, please do drop them in the comments below. I would love to know any tips, tricks, helpful advice. I have watched some YouTube videos, but if you have any, recommend away. I just can't make mine work, but hey ho, we'll keep trying. So invisible zip, and then I will see if I can mess about with this hem and get it finished and looking beautiful. Oh, I also have to put in the elastic. Important step. So yes, zip, waistband elastic, hem. I should be able to do that in an afternoon. Let's see how we go. Confession time. I couldn't do it. I overlocked the edges, I tried to iron them, it didn't work, I tried to freestyle it, it just didn't look right. So I am now using my bias binding to bias bind the hem, because I just thought overlocking it and sewing it up, it's just going to fray this fabric or come apart in the wash. And after all this work, that's the last thing I want. So I am bias binding it. It'll take me a while. I have to leave like now to go and get the children from school. So I'm going to do the first pass of the bias binding now and then hopefully finish it tonight. Maybe I'll get to wear it tomorrow. I do like a bias bound hem anyway. I'm not sure about it on a circle skirt in terms of how it's going to hang, but I guess we'll find out soon. So that's it. I finished the skirt and I love it. It is so swishy and it's the perfect colour to go with so many different tops and jumpers. I love the way I can style it with just a simple white top and cardigan like I've done this morning. And then I can also style it with, I've got a little cropped blouse that I love to wear and it looks really lovely with that too. I styled it up with a red cardigan as well instead of this white one, and then I even tried it on with another little black t-shirt that I made, the Forget Me Not Sylvie t-shirt, and I loved the way it looked with that too, a little bit like a faux dress I suppose with the skirt and top together. I think this is going to be a real summer staple in my wardrobe. It's a beautiful pattern, I would happily make it again. Probably not from a fabric like this one though. It was a bit slippery to work with and I did not love hemming it. But I'm really pleased with how it has turned out and I do love the patterns. So I think there will be definitely some more Sylvie skirts going into my wardrobe this summer. Really easy to wear and actually the waistband is so comfortable. I have made flat fronted elastic backed waistbands before and they have not been comfortable. So I don't know how this one is different, but it is. Very comfortable to wear, really enjoying the way it fits and the way it looks and the way it wears. So great end to my week in sewing. I hope you enjoyed following along with me. I'm looking forward to catching up with you again next week, and until then I hope you have a lovely week ahead full of lots of happy sewing. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.